Hey, so before the video starts, I wanted to take a moment to point out that the footage I used came from an old emulator. On screen is what the game is actually supposed to look like compared to the footage that I have, and I just really want to apologize to the entire mod team that worked on this. You put in a ton of work on this mod and I absolutely loved it, so I'm sorry this video will largely show footage that is subpar and how the game actually looks. I'd already finished the entire project when I discovered this and had recorded hours of footage and cut them up to put in this video. Again, I'm really sorry and I feel awful about this. Anyways, onto the video. It's still really interesting and the animations and combat still are awesome, but again, sorry that it's a little subpar. Hey you guys, today we're going to be looking at the Vanitas mod. This was headed up by Xaddgx, hopefully I pronounced that right, as well as a ton of other people in the modding community, and it is amazing. Sora is reskinned as Vanitas and all the combos and magic are changed with a host of new abilities and forms. The animations used are all repurposed from the animations of Kingdom Hearts 2, though a lot of the effects are changed or modified to give everything a darkness aesthetic. I won't be going through every single animation and pointing out where it came from Kingdom Hearts 2, just because it feels a little odd to me to pick apart the mod like that. But anyways, we'll be starting with Vanitas' base form first, and then go through all of his dry forms. His base form shows him in his usual attire without his face mask on. Let's take a look at his abilities. The first ability is Zone Guard. This lets you block and shoot back enemy attacks with a long guarding animation. This shows Vanitas holding up an arm and spinning the Keyblade in front of himself. Cyclone Slash is a combo modifier that lets you charge through an enemy during a combo by pressing square. Vanitas does a leaping slash forward for this attack. Desecration Slash is another combo modifier, though this one can be triggered in the air. Vanitas twists sideways in the air as his Keyblade flies around him. Chaos Leap will trigger at the end of the combo if you use square. Vanitas jumps into the air, causing dark pillars to spawn around him. He then slashes above his head twice and a light bursts around him. To end off the attack, he dashes upwards, holding his arm out in front of himself as his Keyblade spins in front of his hand. There are a ton of slash effects that appear all around him during this. Drill Counter is a counter attack you can perform with square if you are knocked back. This shows Vanitas spinning the Keyblade in his hand as he dashes forward. A ray of light appears in front of him during this. The next few abilities are combo modifiers that are situational. These situational attacks will trigger when certain requirements are met. Vicious Slice triggers if you are close to an enemy. This is a rapid attack with little delay at the end. Vortex Slash triggers if there are multiple enemies that are around you. This will draw enemies in as Vanitas spins around. This can also activate Frenzy Stall. Frenzy Stall is a unique reaction command that will cancel out your attack animation. This means you can start up another attack as soon as you cancel. This will appear above a host of different attacks. Clash Step is next and triggers when you are a slight distance away from the enemy. This will have your guard staying up during the attack. This is a 2-hit attack with your dash hitting once and a strike following it up. Sonic Dash triggers if you are far away from an enemy. If you stop attacking, you will do a piercing knockdown on surrounding enemies. This shows red orbs of magic spinning around you. Vicinity Slayer is an attack that triggers when you are surrounded that pulls you into the air. This shows Vanitas twisting in the air as his Keyblade circles out around him. This can trigger Frenzy Stall and will trigger advanced movement if you use airborne magic after this. Vanquish Breaker is a combo finisher that triggers against a single enemy. This can pierce through their guard. This shows Vanitas jumping forward with a thrust, spawning light effects, as well as 5 points that shoot at the ground to damage enemies. Explosive Brutality is a finisher that triggers against multiple enemies. Damage dealt is relative to your magic skill. Vanitas jumps forward, spinning around as red orbs of magic spin around him. A Ring of Light pushes out at the start of this attack, as well as a Ring of Dark Orbs. Aerial Ravager will trigger if you're attacking an airborne enemy from the ground. This is an extremely fast spiraling attack upwards. Aerial Reversal will trigger if you are attacking a faraway enemy that is in the air. Vanitas will cartwheel around the enemy, slashing at them as he circles around them. Brawler's Dance is an acrobatic attack in the air. Vanitas will slice upwards at the enemy before kicking at them twice and ending with a dash forward. Maniacal Finale is a combo finisher that triggers against a single enemy. Vanitas' body is covered in a bright aura as he does an uppercut attack. At the top of his uppercut, Vanitas then flips downwards to end the attack. Magna Burst is a combo finisher that triggers against multiple enemies. Vanitas spins in the air, casting a magnet that pulls enemies close to him before spawning red orbs of magic that push enemies away. Duelist Counter Guard is a counter attack after a successful guard. Vanitas winds back, sending out a burst of light that damages enemies. Alongside all of these abilities, you also have a couple of growth abilities. Ascension lets you jump higher the longer X is held down. Evasion lets you dash rapidly, and you'll cover more distance the longer you hold square down. Flip is triggered by just tapping square and is a shorter dash that you can control. Aerial Dodge lets you jump again in midair. This shows Vanitas twisting higher into the air as a ray of light circles with him. Finally, Soar lets you ride the wind at great speeds by holding square. You can also hold square without moving, which will show Vanitas slowly floating down towards the ground. Now let's look at Vanitas' base combat. His ground combo consists of 2 attacks and 2 combo finishers. Vanitas will switch between a slash that spawns 2 rays of light that circle around him, and a thrust forward spawning another ray. The first combo finisher shows a flurry of jabs before Vanitas does a slash upwards. The other combo finisher is a twisting strike downwards. Light shines from Vanitas and his Keyblade is wreathed in dark fire. His air combo also consists of 2 attacks and 2 combo finishers. The first attack is a twisting attack, and the second has Vanitas spinning back the other way before he holds the Keyblade out in front of himself, spinning it. The first combo finisher is a simple twisting slash. The other combo finisher shows Vanitas jumping forward and turning around as he slashes outwards. The magic you have in your base form are dark versions of Sora's base magic. Doomfire is still AoE magic, though Vanitas does a spinning slash as he casts it. The finisher shows a red ray of light circling around the outside, as well as an orb of fire appearing on the edge of the Keyblade during the cast. There's also an extra set of slash effects that appear during this cast. If you are in the air, Vanitas will spin his Keyblade and twist in the air before thrusting forward as fire swirls all around him. Fatal Blizzaga is the next magic Vanitas can use. Darkness swirls around him as he casts it, and a slice effect happens as his Keyblade shoots upwards from the cast. The finisher shows Vanitas jumping back as a cast of Blizzard shoots forward. He then dashes forward and does an upward slash attack, spawning the Pillars of Darkness from his combo finisher. The aerial cast of this shows Vanitas spinning in the air before doing a flipping slash. Umbra Stormgust shows Vanitas doing a 3-hit combo before a bolt of lightning comes down in front of him. During the lightning strike, Vanitas creates a shield around himself that breaks outwards to damage surrounding enemies. The finisher is a flurry of slashes before a lightning strike. The lightning is synced with the last strike of the combo. The aerial cast of this magic is a diving strike towards the ground, spawning the Dark Pillar attack we've seen before. When he hits the ground, lightning strikes. Culling Cure damages enemies with a shield burst during the cast, and the aerial version shows a diving strike during the cast. Dark Magnega shows Vanitas jumping backwards as he casts it. He does twist in the air and spins in the ground during the cast. At the end, he will do a shield burst, though you can use Frenzy Stall to cancel it. In the air, Vanitas will do a single slice downwards, and the cast of Magnet will spawn around him. Your last magic is Dark Barrier. Vanitas will spin around on the ground, spinning his Keyblade above him. The finisher shows Vanitas striking at the enemy as he casts Barrier. The aerial version is a dash forward during the cast. While we are talking about magic, I also want to mention that when throwing an item, Vanitas will crouch. Okay, now let's look at Vanitas' dry forms. Ursat's form is the first form you can get and changes Vanitas' clothes to Dark Riku's. There are 5 unique abilities in this form. Ursat's Shot changes your attack command to Dark Aura, and in the air you will shoot out projectiles that will target enemies. The next ability is Blade Flurry. This will make your magic attacks also trigger physical attacks during the casts. Magic Haste shortens your casting time, letting you string together faster magic combos. Magic Spice powers up your finishing moves of magic combos. Drill Counter does not actually work with this form, and the last ability is Evasion. This is a simple dodge that will increase with distance the longer square is held down. Your ground combo will start with a jumping thrust forward, followed by another jump forward as Vanitas does a twisting slash in the air. Your first combo finisher is Flipping Slash that spawns Pillars of Lightning that spawn in front of you. Your second combo finisher shows Vanitas jumping into the air to do a diving strike. This spawns Rays of Darkness as well as another wave of lightning pillars. The air combo involves a flurry of dark projectiles, with Vanitas slicing at surrounding enemies during the casts. There is one attack that has 3 waves of projectiles shot out and 2 combo finishers. The first combo finisher shows Vanitas spinning around shooting projectiles in all directions before ending with a slice downwards. The second combo finisher shows Vanitas dashing backwards as Rays of Darkness snake around him. You can actually see him let go of his Keyblade during this and move it telepathically around himself before shooting out a barrage of dark fires. Doomfire is the same cast of fire we saw before, but dark fires are shot out as well. The finisher is changed to giant orbs of fire spawned as Vanitas does one of his combo finishers, flipping and sending forward a wave of lightning. The aerial cast of this shows a dark fire cast, but Vanitas will also use one of his air combo finishers, spinning around before ending with a slice downwards. Fatal Blizzaga has Vanitas spinning as a cast of Blizzard is shot forward. The finisher is a twisting slash in the air that shoots out blizzards around him. The aerial cast shoots out a blizzard as Vanitas does the opening of his air combo. Umbra Stormgust shows Vanitas dashing forward as a cast of thunder shoots down. The finisher has multiple casts of thunder coming down around him as he does the flipping lightning finisher. When cast in the air, a bolt of lightning will shoot down as Vanitas does one of his air combo finishers. Culling Cure has Vanitas doing his diving strike finisher from his ground combo if cast in the ground, and his barrage finisher if cast in the air. Dust Magnega shows Vanitas doing the flipping lightning finisher on the ground and the barrage in the air. Dark Barrier's normal cast on the ground have him casting Dark Fires, and the finisher has him doing a spinning slash. The aerial cast is the spinning shots of Dark Fire ending with a downward strike. Let's move on to the next dry form. Possessed form is next and is Vanitas' limit form. This transforms him into ventus-vanitas, with his Keyblade having blue and red energy, showing the 2 opposing sides at war in his heart. Your magic is replaced with limits while in this form. Let's look at your abilities for Possessed form. Your first 4 are the limits. I'll briefly touch on these here, but go more in depth later. Sonic Shadow is similar to Sora's Sonic Blade attack. Another Side is a limit command that unleashes a powerful combo. Faceless Retribution is a limit command similar to Sora's Strike Rate attack. Malignant Damnation is another limit command that is unleashed after an aerial combo. Endless Pain makes your ground combos infinite. Ripple Dash is a dash attack that will end with a knockup if you stop attacking. Hurricane Desecration is your aerial combo finisher. Enraged Monstrosity increases your attack speed. Reflect Combo allows you to guard during a combo. Zone Guard blocks and shoots back enemy attacks, and you can hold square to guard longer. Vicious Slice is a close range attack with hardly any delay at the end. Sonic Dash is not actually able to be triggered during this form since Ripple Dash will cancel it out. Aerial Ravager is a situational attack that will trigger on an aerial enemy if you are on the ground. And lastly, your growth ability in this form is Flip. This is a cartwheel-esque dodge. Your ground combo is pretty simple in this form, alternating between a dashing attack and a thrust. The dashing attack is Ripple Dash, which will trigger a burst of magic if you stop attacking. The combo modifier abilities that I talked about previously were already seen in base form, so I won't take the time to explain those again. Your air combo has Vanitas thrusting forward, spinning the Keyblade in his hand. A red beam of energy spawns in front of you during this attack. Your other attack in the air is a twisting slash attack. Your combo finisher, Hurricane Desecration, has Vanitas throwing the Keyblade outwards and spinning it around himself. Rays of energy circle in the opposite direction of the Keyblade spin. Okay, now let's look at the limits. Your first limit is Sonic Shadow. These are quick thrusts forward with a shred reaction command allowing you to continue the thrusts. At the end, a reaction command called Shadow Barrage appears. This spawns an effect on the edge of the screen, and Vanitas does a flurry of jabs before ending with a strong slash upwards. Your next limit is Another Side. This is an incredibly long combo that requires you to use the reaction command Destiny to continue the attack. The limit opens with a thrust forward followed by 3 bursts of magic. The last burst shoots up a red beam of energy as Vanitas crouches and spins his Keyblade behind him. He then dashes forward with a Zen Tetsuken before flipping in the air and doing a slice upwards. You can cut this attack short, but letting it run through will show Vanitas flipping forward before he uses a Ripple Magic attack. Continuing the limit shows Vanitas raising his Keyblade into the air before dashing around in the air. You can also end this early and trigger the last reaction command, Anti-Life. Anti-Life is a barrage of small dark shots and ends with a diving strike that triggers a Ripple Magic attack. Faceless Retribution is your next limit and is a kind of strike rate-esque attack. After each raid, Vanitas will cartwheel and shoot out projectiles at the enemy. You can use the reaction command Strike to continue this. The last attack is triggered with the Retribution command and shows Vanitas doing a strike before another raid followed by 2 waves of projectiles to end the limit. The last limit is Malignant Damnation. There's a long combo filled with twists and slashes before Vanitas does a strike into the air. When he lands, you can trigger the Suffering command, which shows Vanitas spinning and shooting out multiple projectiles that home in on enemies. You can move during this, and a Ripple Magic attack is cast at the end. You can trigger the end of this attack early before he jumps into the air. The EXP command appears to make sure that you get a point for using this limit so that you can level it up. Now let's look at the last form. Remnant form is your last form and is insane. This transforms him into the Vanitas Sentiment, a secret boss at the end of Birth by Sleep, and gives him 2 Keyblades. 2 wisps of darkness fly around him, and he spins one of his Keyblades behind him. I'm going to try my best to show everything in this form, but there is so much here, I am sure I'm probably going to miss something. Let's look at the abilities first though. You have 8 abilities in this form. Remnant Void allows you to use the darkness to dodge or deflect oncoming attacks. Remnant Massacre allows you to jump straight to your combo finishers with Square. Remnant Arts is your combo finisher when dealing with multiple enemies. Overzealous Anguish transforms your magic. This will change all of your offensive spells to specific attacks that don't use MP. Defense spells will still use MP though. Vengeance Drain is an ability that makes it hard for enemies to retaliate. This means the enemy's revenge value will take longer to increase. Blade Flurry has your magic trigger specific physical attacks. Sora lets you glide around, and Bloodlust gives you 2 Keyblades and changes your movement to dashes. Casting magic during this will trigger some advanced movement. Advanced movement is extremely quick movement that will move you a safe distance away from enemies in an instant. Your first attack in your combo shows Vanitas cartwheeling as he throws a Keyblade outwards. This slices in different directions before spinning around Vanitas. As he finishes his cartwheel, he flies into the air, circling above the ground and guiding the spinning Keyblade around. During this whole attack, pillars of light shoot down around Vanitas, and as he rises into the air, a spark of electricity shoots out. The flying Keyblade stops spinning around after the lightning and returns to slicing out in different directions as Vanitas circles higher into the air. Small projectiles are shot out before the Keyblade flies back to his hand as he lowers back down to the ground. You can cut this attack short to move on with the combo. The next attack is a dash forward, spawning 3 different slashes around Vanitas. You can see Vanitas flip its Keyblade backwards before spinning on one foot and twisting around, slashing at the enemy. He'll then flip forward with a strike that spawns another spark of electricity. The first combo finisher shows Vanitas winding up before he strikes forward, spawning a spark before striking again and spawning another spark. You can end this early and move on to your last combo finisher. He dashes around incredibly fast as the 2 Keyblades spin out around him. Multiple pillars of light appear during this attack. Now let's look at your air combo. Your first attack is a spinning slash attack with both Keyblades. Red projectiles are shot out during this, and the attack ends with a spark. The second attack is another spinning strike, but Ventus falls as he attacks. The next attack is a twisting attack followed up by crossing slashes. Ventus then throws out both Keyblades, spinning them around himself before flipping upwards and flying downwards. There are so many projectiles, pillars of light, and slash effects during this whole attack, it's insane. During all these attacks, you will probably notice that a bunch of reaction commands are cycling through, which are the different magic attacks that you can use. These all change up your combo. There are so many different kinds of attack combinations, and the timing is incredibly tight to get off some of these attacks. These attacks, though, are the same that are triggered during regular magic casts. The magic is much different in this form. Like I said before, all of your offensive spells will trigger combo attacks and will not use MP. Doom Firaga is the opening attack from your ground combo. This is the cartwheeling attack that ends with Ventus rising into the air as one of his Keyblades spins around him. The aerial cast is the spinning slash we saw in the air combo. Fatal Blizzaga is an extremely fast dash forward with an upward strike at the end of it. You can trigger the Frenzy Stall command to cancel out your attack. The aerial cast is a twisting attack before Ventus spawns a spark. Umbra Stormgust shows Ventus dashing forward surrounded in darkness and spawning a spark at the end. The aerial cast is a spinning strike followed by crossing slashes. Culling Cure is the same regardless of if you are on the ground or in the air. Ventus will do the diving strike finisher from his air combo. Dark Magnet on the ground triggers his ground combo finisher where he dashes around quickly. In the air, Ventus will fly backwards before rushing forward. Both Keyblades will spin in front of him, shooting out projectiles. Dark Barrier does the same thing on the ground and in the air. Ventus will dash around quickly as his Keyblades fly around, slicing at enemies. Alongside all of these forms in combat, there are also multiple unique party members as well as summons added. I'll cycle through them on screen, but I think that is all the time I have for you guys today. This is a phenomenal mod, and I'm so blown away with how good the combat felt. I will leave a link to the mod down below in the description, so be sure to try this game out for yourself. There are so many things added on top of everything I've shown you, and I hope this video made you want to try it out. Seriously, I cannot tell you how much fun I had messing around with all the mechanics and trying to figure out all the different attacks and animations. It was really well done, and I just really want to thank Xaddgx as well as the rest of the mod team. You guys did a phenomenal job. Thank you so much for putting in the time and effort and energy that it took to make this. Anyways, thank you to my patrons who support me. Their names will be on screen right now. Also, the cards on screen show some places where I'm sometimes active. I also created an Instagram where I sometimes put up clips of my breakdowns early, so follow the links in the description below to stay connected. Subscribe or share this, and I'll see you in the next video. Whew.